Get ready for The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to The Splash Live.
Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. Dave Scott out here on an absolutely beautiful day, sitting at a picnic table at the Sylvan Lake Community Center on a spectacular day that's going to feature 70-degree temperatures and wall-to-wall sunshine. John Martin, city manager, right here. There is your beautiful lake, John. So we are here on a great day. I wanted to get outside today just because we got today and tomorrow, as you'll see in the weather forecast in a minute, but an awful lot to talk about here in Sylvan Lake. We'll get to that in just a minute. Thank you for tuning in as you do each and every day. It's Splash Live, kicking off an hour and a half, 90 minutes of live local television each and every day. The Splash at 9:30 with yours truly, Tyler Keefe in this morning at 10 o'clock with an hour of the MegaCast. So much to get to on both of our programs today, and it's easy to watch. You can watch us on Comcast on channel 15. If you have AT&T cable in our area, tune in to channel 99. Just that easy. There's a menu system. Go in and pick your favorite city, like Sylvan Lake, and then click on Sylvan Lake or West Bloomfield, Orchard Lake, Kego, and our programming will be there. A lot of people like I do, I like to watch online on our website, civiccentertv.com. You get a great high-definition signal. All of our on-demand content is there, so we invite you to watch there. Also on social media, we are live on Facebook this morning. Go to Facebook and search for Civic Center TV. We're live on YouTube this morning and each and every day, if you like to watch over there. And then there's always the Big 89, as I like to call it, live on the radio all across the Lakes area, right here on 89.3 Lakes FM. If you're tuning in on your way to work this morning, thank you very much for catching the audio portion of today's broadcast. So let's start out with this amazing weather that we have here. Already 59 degrees, a little chilly. That's why I've got my Mr. Rogers sweater on here. But it's gonna get up to 70 degrees today, cooling down to 50 tonight, which is really remarkable for this time of year. One more day, 60 degrees tomorrow, some sunshine, cooling off tomorrow night, and then the party's kind of over. We're going to be into the 40s over the weekend, all the way down to 26 Saturday night. So enjoy the beautiful weather. Get out, take your dog, your kids, just you for a walk today, and enjoy what is clear. This is it. Okay. We're not going to have much more of this. 70 degrees. Get out and enjoy today. John, I'm sure you're going to get out and enjoy the day.
This is great. That was a really good call, having us coming out here on the table. It's great.
Well, I was setting up inside, and then we're going to set up outside.
This is great, and people are walking by.
Yeah, we'll get a chance. It's just spectacular. So if you drive to work on Orchard Lake Road, like so many people do, the gateway to Metro Detroit is right there on Orchard Lake Road, where there's construction. Certainly my drive this morning, Middle Belt to Telegraph, and it's down to 2 lanes. So people were doing great this morning. This is the actual drive here, and you can see that everyone's taking their time and obeying all the laws, but this is a big thoroughfare that's down to 2 lanes. They're resurfacing it. John, does that go farther than Middle Belt?
No, right now it's not. Well, it goes just a little past Middle Belt.
Okay.
Not very far.
So, and it won't be there much longer, but
No.
but do be careful as you're driving on the road construction, and a lot of resurfacing projects still going on as we got this nice weather all around our lakes area. So do be careful. Let's not forget that Friday is Veterans Day here in Sylvan Lake. I was so impressed driving in this morning to go by Veterans Park, and there it was, this big, beautiful sign and banner, and Veterans Park all ready for Veterans Day tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow, even if you have to work or have other activities, it is Veterans Day. Find some time over the weekend to do it. Many of you have already done. Come to our Heroes Breakfast, which we held earlier. Go to some neighborhood activity, get together with someone who is in the service, and just spend a little time with them and spend some time to honor and recognize their service. Now, one other really good way to do that is to come right here where we are tonight. 6:30, none other than Helen Jane Peters will be here live. She's been doing this amazing series called Sylvan Stories. Tonight, edition 5 of Sylvan Stories, and it's got a focus on veterans. And I already saw the setup inside. It's really amazing. Helen Jane Peters is amazing. You're going to enjoy hearing from her. Come down. There's no admission. Just show up here at the Sylvan Lake Community Center at 6:30. Our Civic Center TV cameras will be here, and we'll capture it all for you. If you want to see what it's all about, just go to YouTube or go to Civic Center TV and go to our on-demand area and take a look at some of the earlier episodes. It's really remarkable, and I strongly encourage you to take an opportunity and come by tonight, again, 6:30, and enjoy it live. Big day yesterday at West Bloomfield High School. We have amazing scholars and also amazing athletes. Yesterday, the first signing day, they do these signing day celebrations now, and I think they're great. There's the athletic director of West Bloomfield Schools, Eric Pierce, and he had the pleasure of recognizing Logan Picour, who is going to be going to Central Michigan University and playing baseball, and Sydney Hendricks, who's one of the stars from the state championship women's basketball team at West Bloomfield High School. And Sydney, she's going to be heading off to Florida A&M. If you watch football on the weekend, it doesn't matter if you're like John Martin and a Michigan State fan, or you're like Dave Scott and you're a Michigan fan, you're going to see a lot of athletes from our area. You know, Donovan Edwards, certainly the guy getting all the headlines these days at U of M. But we have been turning out so many amazing athletes to our universities, not only here, but all across the country. And I just salute all of those students that are doing a great job at West Bloomfield High School with their athletics and their education, getting into these great universities. And tomorrow we'll have some clips of all that right here on the Splash Live. So a beautiful day. We are going to talk Sylvan Lake, and we're going to talk dogs. And when we come back in just a minute, Amos ReRosier joins us from the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Department. They have an amazing dog park, one of the many places you can take your dogs here in the greater West Bloomfield area. We'll talk to her. And then, yes, John Martin is not just going to sit here quiet all day.
But he can.
And no, we're going to talk to John about the many great things going on in Sylvan Lake. So don't go away. Hey, thank you for joining us on this beautiful sunny morning in Sylvan Lake. I'm Dave Scott. You're watching the Splash Live, and we will be right back.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head-on, visit michigan.gov/flu.
Take a look back in time and recollect local history at this month's Sylvan Story presentation. Learn about Sylvan Lake's illustrious past from the lovely Helen Jane Peters as she discusses everything she can about Whitfield School's teacher and principal, Mr. Glenn Husted, and the letters he'd write to soldiers fighting in World War II. Sylvan Story. Drop by at 6:30 p.m. Thursday, November 10th at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Good morning and welcome back to the Splash Live. Dave Scott here in Sylvan Lake. Sun is shining. I'm hiding behind a tree so I don't get too much sun. So you see these funny shadows all over John Martin and myself. That's what's going on. Light breeze, almost 60 degrees already. Get out and enjoy today. One of the final days where it's going to be warm, up to 70. This will be the last 70 we see in a long time. Tyler Keefe coming up this morning at 10 o'clock with the MegaCast, a whole another hour of everything going on, not only in West Bloomfield and Sylvan Lake and our immediate area, but across Oakland County and the state. Part of our 90 minutes of live television each Monday through Friday, beginning at 9:30. Joining us now from West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation is Amos ReRosier. And Amos, good morning. Thank you for joining us here on the Splash Live.
Hi, Dave. How are you? Good morning.
I'm fantastic. As you can see, I'm here with my good friend John Martin, the city manager of Sylvan Lake, and we are just suffering. I mean, it's awful out here. No, we're trying to enjoy one of the beautiful. It's spectacular. And you're in the dog business here in West Bloomfield, and people certainly like to get out, go to the West Bloomfield Dog Park, and get out, and it's even better when the weather's spectacular like today.
That is a true story, Dave.
So talk to me a little bit about the West Bloomfield Dog Park for people that have not had an opportunity to visit with their favorite four-legged friend. Tell us all about it.
So the West Bloomfield Dog Park is off of Carner Road. It is a fenced-in dog park, and we have the extensive full information on our website. There's a lot to learn about it. So anyone that would like the full scope of what we do can go to our website, and we even have a really great video there that you can watch, which each person who applies to the dog park must watch. And one of the important things to know is that, yes, the dog park is an amazing place to go, especially on a day like today. But the important thing for every dog owner to know is that the dog park may or may not be the best place for every dog. So really knowing your dog and knowing if it is the best situation for your dog. But that being said, we are getting to the end of the close of this season for 2022. We will be taking registration for 2023 starting December 1st. Again, all of the information for how to apply is on our website, but they do need to have proof of Bordetella. Actually, all of their vaccinations, if they have that is always helpful, but the Bordetella is what we look for. We also need a current dog license. That can be a 1-year or a 3-year license. And then the owner also must provide their driver's license. And like I said, they must watch a video and take a quiz that we have at the end of it.
So, Amos, thank you for joining us and talk about the dog park this morning. And, I haven't been there, and I'm not a pet owner. I love dogs, though. I love other people's dogs. But I assume the beauty of a dog park is that your dog can do what it really wants to do, and that is get off the leash and mingle and socialize a little bit. And you've got a confined space where that is practical. Do I have that right?
That is correct.
And in doing so, obviously, you've got to have a dog that can socialize. And I like what you said. But, I mean, ultimately, you're a dog person, obviously. Just talk about how much dogs love that and how great this is when they have this resource they can come to. I'm sure the dogs are like jumping up and down and all excited when they get in the car because they pretty much know maybe we're going to the dog park. They must really love this opportunity to get out, get some exercise, and get off that leash.
Yeah, the dogs do. And that's funny. Being a dog owner, I would say probably 90% of the dogs, once they know and they get in a routine, they do know where they're going. And that being said, yes, for the majority of our community who have been using the dog park for many years, this is a place where not only do they go to socialize, those people they socialize become their extended family. That's something they look forward to, the people and the dogs. And as you said, the dogs get overly excited. They know where they're going. And again, that being said, it's very important for dog owners to realize, make sure to still, do the proper things by keeping your dog on a leash until you are into the off-leash dog park. One of the concerns that we do have is that sometimes people say that their dog is very well behaved, and they may be, and that is amazing. So the dogs get overly excited. They open their car door. The dogs just bolt out of the door and run to the gate for the dog park. So we would like to say...
Amos, let's be honest. We all love our own dogs and we all love our own kids, and it would be impossible for them to do anything but be spectacular 24/7. But I get it. So if you're gonna go to this place that offers so much joy and happiness, it is a great resource. A couple of rules you got to follow. The most important thing we got to scoot along is that you've got to register, and registration opens for next year's season of the dog park. Can you quickly tell us how to do that and when your season ends for the year.
Sure. So like I said, it starts December 1st. All of the information they need, they can access online, so they can actually email us and send all of the information in via email or old school via fax, or they can come in and see us in person. We are there 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Recreation Activity Center in the Civic Center complex. We have all the information there as well for them to do it in person.
All right, and I might just come over without a dog just to see all the dogs. Is that okay?
Well, you certainly can visit Carner Farm and you can see the dogs outside of the gate. But right. Unfortunately, the dog park is limited to people who have an application and have gotten a dog park key fob.
Absolutely, and I don't have my dog tags, John, so I'll have to watch them outside. But it's a great opportunity. Amos, thank you very much for being with us. Thanks for reminding us about the dog park. You do a great job. We'll get our cameras out there again real soon and remind everybody to do all the paperwork so they can enjoy it. Tell everybody at Parks and Rec a great job on the Heroes Breakfast on Tuesday, and you have a fantastic day.
Thanks, Dave. You too. Enjoy that weather.
Thank you very much. We are going to take a break. We'll be back in a minute. We're going to talk Sylvan Lake with the guy he's been around here for a long time. We're not going to even tell people how long, but we'll be back in a minute with John Martin, city manager here in Sylvan Lake, as the Splash Live continues after this.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
It's peaceful, it's quiet, and the noise and stress of life can sometimes disappear.
It's the Great Lakes water, and so what people do ends up in our waterways.
It's for our health and safety, it's for our economy, it's for protecting the environment that we all enjoy and we all need to survive.
So clearing storm drains and the areas nearby of trash and leaves helps keep them for rain only.
We're all about one water in this region. We're all connected. We all have a role.
Let's whoop it up for these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the cheering going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Good morning and welcome to the Splash Live. Dave Scott along with John Martin. We're kind of in and out of the shade here. But thank you for joining. And there's John. We can duck down a little bit, get in the sunshine a little bit. Dave Scott, John Martin, city manager. And John, thank you very much for inviting us to this beautiful facility you have. We're here at the community center. You've got the lakes right behind you on either side. This is really a remarkable place. How did you make all this happen?
Oh my goodness. So that's a very big question. So we started years and years ago with a community center right on this property, and it was old. And I'll tell you, Helen Jane Peters, who you talked about already, would love to give you the whole history on that building. Detroit Free Press Fresh Air Camp donated to the city, blah, blah, blah. It was removed. We built this beautiful facility 15 years ago, but we had tennis courts. And then, oh my gosh, 25 years ago, actually a resident who was a big bocce guy said, we need some bocce courts. So he built a couple bocce courts, added 2 more bocce courts. So now we have 4 bocce courts, 2 tennis courts. We added a volleyball court, and it's all right here in this little corner of our community center park.
And I don't know too many locations where we have a park like this that has all this water surrounding.
I know. This is like probably one of the most beautiful areas in Oakland County. It's got
absolutely.
It's got be.
And you maintain it well. You continue to improve it. The recent improvement of this beautiful building that people have an opportunity to see when we do our broadcasts from here and your city meetings and other things. I mean, it's an absolutely great and spectacular place. Talk just briefly. We only got a couple of minutes, and I could take hours with this, but your community really has evolved as this has been not only this piece of property, but all of your lakefront property and all of Sylvan Lake has become some of the most desirable residential property in Oakland County.
That is very true. If there's a house up for sale, it's not for long, and a lot of times there's not even a sign. So it is a very spectacular place. It's really a really cool little hidden area because you can't get through it. It's we're surrounded by water on three sides.
Right.
So and a lot of people driving down Orchard Lake Road have no idea it's here. But you're absolutely right. I think we've had 9 or 10 homes that were demolished and rebuilt in the last year and a half, 2 years. So it is very, very desirable. Home Police Department, that's a big draw. The lakes, of course, is spectacular. But not only that, but over the last couple of years with events that have been happening. And I will either blame, I don't want to thank COVID. We don't want to thank COVID for anything. But it drew everybody out of their homes because there wasn't a whole lot to do, and the community came together, and there are so many activities that are being put on by residents.
Well, this is kind of, this is almost as much of a community organization as it is a city.
Absolutely.
It feels more to me like a exclusive, although you've got a variety of people here. I want to say that word carefully, but Sylvan Lake kind of has a very tight sense of community, I think is the best way to say it. And that's why you probably don't have too many homes for sale, because people, when they find out what they have here in Oakland County, in this spot in Oakland County, and so close and so easy to get to maybe their job somewhere else in Metro Detroit,
Sure.
it's a gem.
Yeah, we're really just about directly the center of Oakland County, so it's pretty cool.
And you have a diverse residence and business situation here too, in that you are a bedroom community, but you also have the Orchard Lake Road facing. You've got a lot of businesses here. You've got commerce here. You've got homes. You have very expensive homes. You have very affordable homes. It's really quite a combination.
Yeah, you're right. It really runs the gamut on all of those things that you just said. We probably have 90 businesses. You wouldn't realize that there are that many businesses in Sylvan Lake.
Well, and then, we think about that as it compares to West Bloomfield, Orchard Lake. You and Kego have a little bit more business activity in your communities relative to your total population. And that's got to be a nice thing, too, for you as a city manager.
It is. It really is. Right now, we're seeing, again, over the last couple of years, we've seen a little downturn in some of the business activity and a couple of things that are empty, but we're working on that. We just finished our master plan. Planning Commission just wrapped that up a couple of months ago. So now the next step in that is implementation and trying to get some of these businesses back going again. So
well, and tonight is just an example, and having great citizens and people that contribute, which you really have.
We do.
You really have. And, Helen Jane Peters, we get so much attention on her, but she's just a really good example with the history and that she continues to bring people about this amazing community. And tonight, another good example here tonight. If you're in the area, you definitely should come by the community center. So there's going to be a great program in here tonight at 6:30.
And she is very passionate with what she does. I mean, she absolutely loves it. She brings props. She dresses period appropriate. It's spectacular. She puts a lot of time and she's got a lot of numbers.
Yeah, when we were setting up, I had the opportunity to just kind of peek around a little bit and see exactly what she has set up in there. And you definitely want to come and be a part of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. The guys are running the promo here in the background as we're chatting a little bit. There she is. And that's, kind of where she's going to be, and going through a lot of really interesting historical information. And it's it's great. It's going to be a neighbor to neighbor presentation tonight.
Yeah, it is really fun. And you get a lot of people that have been here for a long time, many years, who remember some of the stuff. You get an awful lot of residents that are just fascinated with what's Sylvan Lake all about.
John, we got to go in just a couple of minutes. It's not going to stay 70 much longer. maybe a couple of hours. What happens on this property in the wintertime? Is there
usually there's snow. There's generally. Actually, it definitely quiets down. We again, a bunch of residents, they shovel a big section of the ice on the lake and just skate. And we'll have activities down here. Parks and Rec puts on some stuff. I believe that there are going to be some winter activities inside the building too. But there was a little talk of kind of building a little bit of a snow hill over here. But I don't know if that'll come to fruition or not.
You've been working for the city since 1984. You've been the city manager since I've read your bio on the website since 1992. Yep. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but is there any one or two really big things that have changed that either surprised you or that you think are remarkable?
I think the biggest thing is seeing the growth from the beginning, and I grew up here too, so I've been here my whole life, so like 30 years.
Sure.
But things have changed, and I would say 95% of them are for the better, and really, really better. The growth of the community and coming together over the last few years has been just fantastic. I think being able to keep a place small and have it thrive is not an easy task, because your funding is low. You only have so much to get. But I think it's the people, the population, the residents that have continued to make this just a fantastic place. I mean, the direction, but I wouldn't take credit.
Well, I could take credit for a lot, because when you have a small community like this and you grow up in the community, when somebody has an issue, or maybe their garbage doesn't get picked up, or maybe there's a pothole in the street, or maybe a bunch of good things have happened too. You're the easiest guy to find. All I got to do is walk down to City Hall. It's not like there's 10 security guards there that say no, you can't talk. You're very accessible.
Yeah. That's important. That's super important. But it's interesting that you said potholes, because just real quick,
sure.
That's one of the things that we were talking about not too long ago, was the big issue of today, whatever it is. Orchard Lake Road. We get complaints about Orchard Lake Road. It's terrible. I can guarantee you that in 2 months, when it's all done, nobody's going to remember how bad it was today. The problems of today, when they're fixed, are gone, and then there's a new problem for today.
All right,
just remember that.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Final reminder, if you're looking for something to do to tie into Veterans Day, and maybe you got to work tomorrow tonight, come by this beautiful facility. If you've not been here, here's a great opportunity for you to come by. And even if you don't live in Sylvan Lake, it's quite all right. You can learn a lot. Helen Jane Peters, our area historian, will be putting on a presentation tonight, 6:30. Very focused on the history of the community and significant tie-in to our veterans community. So we hope that you have an opportunity to come do that. And whenever you get a chance, stroll through Sylvan Lake. If you've not been here lately, you will be absolutely amazed. John Martin, thank you very much.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Always good.
Good to be with you. We'll do that again sometime we have more time. Thank you for tuning into The Splash. Get out and enjoy this absolutely remarkable day. 70 degrees. It's the last one probably until March and April. Tyler Keefe is coming up next. Thank you very much. Have a great day. So long from Sylvan Lake.